Hi, this is Scott Holstad, writer, author, poet, etc., etc. I've been doing some videos for the past couple weeks of me reading poems and stories and a few selections from my brand new book of poems, which just came out this week. Surviving Immortality Again, Scott C Holstad, published by Alien Buddha Press, available in a nice 132-page paperback on Amazon. But I don't want to only do that, although I am interested in making sure other people are interested, if and when possible. I'm enjoying this. I haven't done any readings for a long time. I used to do a lot because I'm old. And I was thinking about, what might be kind of fun for me to do, a little bit different from what I've done in the past couple of weeks. And so I thought, well, I might try and concentrate on maybe just a couple short pieces, but not necessarily from any of my books, old books. This new book of poems is special to me for many reasons, but one is it's the first new book of poems I've had published in a long time, because I'm old, literally a long time. And I've had a lot of books published over the years, both poetry and other types, as well as anthologies, textbooks, contributions to these things, things I've edited and ghostwritten and whatnot. But I decide I'm going to read some things from some journals, magazines, etc., and maybe try to do some newer things, and some older things, maybe from some old favorite type journals, many of which might be defunct now, because I have a desire to keep many of them alive in spirit, name, etc., etc. Plus, some of my stuff in those old books, magazines, may have appeared in some of my old books, and most of you, I'll bet, haven't read any, because they've been out of print for a while, and I'm old. You can find some, like at the Internet Archive, and you can find others that are for sale used online, including a few on my website, hankrolls2011.com. But I'm going to stop right there, and I'm going to do what I said my current strategy is, and read an older poem from an older journal that I think is defunct now, sadly, and a newer poem from a current journal. I also wanted to point out my shirt. I'm an itchy poet today, and that is courtesy of, and I'm not going to turn around to show you the back of the shirt, but 5 Fleas Itchy Poetry. That's the name of the website, the publication, etc. And they specialize in short form poems, some experimental, maybe haiku, max 10 lines. And you can do a lot with 10 lines. You can do a whole lot. And sometimes it's just fun to see what you can do with a whole lot less. Just because there's a max of 10 lines doesn't mean you have to use them all up. And the editor is a very nice person. And some other time I'll show you the website. But 5 Fleas Itchy Poetry. And if you write short form poetry, haikus, if you do some experimental stuff, you might want to check it out. It's pretty cool. Nothing to do with what I'm about to read, just the shirt. And no, I didn't get paid for this. I may have to put on reading glasses and look, whatever, silly, foolish, like an old man, professor, whatever, because I've been having vision problems and I may have to have some surgery. But let's take a look here. So the first one I'm going to read, and these are going to be from mostly, hard copy print books. the older ones. There really weren't other options at the time. There weren't webzines for the most part yet, and digital versions. This is a old favorite journal of mine called the Pittsburgh Quarterly. It was a quarterly in Pittsburgh, imagine that. And this is from the summer of 1993, and I was already kind of established by then. That's how old I am. And I'm not going to go into each of these magazines or journals. You know, I actually have a section on my website for cool, defunct, old magazines and journals, sort of keeping them alive, and also a curated list of a maximum of 200 current magazines and journals that I try to keep pretty diverse and up to date. So I know there are a lot of resources out there, but consider that another possibility. This poem I'm going to read is called Life Dreaming, and it's little, but it means a lot to me. It meant a lot to me, and I can't remember which of my books is in, and that's not relevant at the moment. I'm just going to go ahead and read Life Dreaming. I am nothing but bits of paper, grains of sand pressed hot against hard flesh, campfires burning bright against the still night. I am man flesh, human life, walking and dreaming, twitching under the noonday sun. Sometimes I am hunger, I am rain, and all things natural. And I love and hate with equal authority, madness beneath the cloud pieces. Life Dreaming, Pittsburgh Quarterly. R.I.P. The other, just two, it's hard for me. I used to do these like 3-hour seminars. It's hard for me to just do two little things, but I gotta put on reading glasses. I'm sorry for this one, because this is a very tiny little journal that the issue I'm going to be reading was published last year, called Clockwise Cat, and it's a very funky publication, and the editor is a very talented, eclectic individual, and this is a fun little magazine. I have two things in here. I actually read one, which is in my new book, and another video, so I'm not going to read both. I'm not going to read it again, but I'm going to read the other one, which again is very short and it's a little more experimental, and it really has to do with a topic that has been prominent for me my whole life, one of many, about meaning, about identity, about humanity, about rights, about, well, I'll let you figure it out. It's called Conglomerate Telegram. Hot flash. It's sticky in this stop. Darkness, nuclear, rat, and trench coat. Flay alive, stop. Huddled, the protect masses of pulverized antithetical object devices, stop. The senseless, stop. I have no hot flash, true identity, stop. I have no hot flash, voice of my own, stop. I'll let you ponder that if you want to. If anyone sees this, these videos are still pretty new for me, and I'm getting some views, but there's not been a lot of two-way engagement yet. But it'd be interesting if anyone sees this and wants to leave a comment, how y'all might feel about me doing sort of an older, newer, like I just did, or you know, sort of two different styles or whatnot. Because I write in a lot of different styles and genres for that matter. Wikidata has a profile on me, and they list at least 10 different genres for which I guess I'm officially professionally known, including poetry, fiction, nonfiction, journalism, book reviews, yeah, stuff. And I approached the don't know how to end the video problem that I've been facing and I have to figure out because I just started battling. But if you may see this, thanks for watching. I'd love some feedback or suggestions, or you know, I have a lot of old stuff, new stuff. I've been published with a lot of interesting people, some really famous people, a number of whom I've known, some of whom, many of whom are no longer with us. If you want to hear stories about some experiences with any of the at least 8 or 10 U.S. poet laureates I've been published with, or the Nobel laureate I've been published with, or some of the famous people, and yeah, I actually have a section on my website about some of the famous people I've been published with, which at least are over 350. Poets, fiction writers, nonfiction, playwrights, Oscar winners, Tony winners, Grammy winners, and some people not typically known for being an author, for other things, some really famous people, which has been kind of cool. Some musicians, Leonard Cohen, John Cage, Yoko Ono. You may find that hard to believe if I were to look around and grab my copy of Long Shot right back there and show you the cover or show you the table of contents. You'll see my name and you'll see Yoko Ono for both some artwork and from some of her writing. She's not bad. But if you have suggestions or questions, you want to hear things, you want to hear what it was like going up to San Francisco with Diane DePrima, who lived in the same area as Amy Tan, and running in there. It's just, or if you just want me to read certain types, or if you don't want me to read at all because I'm that bad, although I would like to hope I'm not. I'm rusty. Vision's not great. Got a lot of pain in my head, but I think it can come through. If you want to see autographed books from people you don't know and people you probably do know, I'm interested in any feedback at some point from anyone in terms of what they may find interesting, because I think I can accommodate a lot of different possibilities. With that, I'm going to stop because I've allowed this to go on much longer than I intended, which is one of my worst habits. And again, the name is Scott Holstad. For anyone interested, you can go to any search engine and type in Scott Holstad or Scott C Holstad. Probably don't have to type in anything else, but sometimes it helps to append words like author or poet or writer or quotes. There are hundreds of quotes out there attributed to me that I really don't know how they find a lot of these, but it's kind of funky. Or other things, and you'll find all sorts of stuff if you want. And by all means, feel free to come to my website, hankrules2011.com, and I've tried to make it into an archival site. There's a lot of stuff there. Anyway, it's Friday. I hope everyone has a pretty good weekend ahead of them. Ideally, a safe weekend in a time of great deal of turmoil. And I'll catch you next time. Thanks. Take care.